What's goody? Hey man, so we have to talk about the Detroit Pistons, dog. Them boys last night just went out there and beat the Celtics by 20 points at home. The Pistons were at home, so they beat the Celtics by 20 points. They have won 8 straight games, and they are currently the 6th seed out east, tied with the Milwaukee Bucks, who are sitting at 5, 1 game behind the Pacers, who are sitting at 4. Bro, the Pistons turnaround has been insane. I was somebody that before the season, I believe I picked the Pistons to be like a play-in team, right? I thought they were going to get better. I thought they were going to be a play-in team. I thought the spacing around Cade Cunningham would help and everything like that. I wasn't with all of the ESPN rankings that had him at like 62 or 67 or whatever he was before the season, right? I was never with that. But I could never have foreseen what the Pistons are doing right now, bro. For them to be above teams like Orlando, Miami, Philly, in the standings out east, and tied with a team like Milwaukee, 1 game behind a team like Indiana in the Eastern Conference standings is absolutely beyond me, bro. Like, this is insane what the Pistons are doing right now, and it would be absolute, like, basketball malpractice for me to not make a video about them, bro. Last night they went out there, they absolutely hooped, and one guy that I really want to talk about is Malik Beasley, bro. Last night against the Celtics, he went 10 for 15 from the field, put up 26 points. The man has not just been a great catch-and-shoot three-point shooter this season. He has been one of the top probably three-point shooters, period, on the whole season. Last night, he scored 26 points in 22 minutes off of the bench. He was their leading scorer off of the bench. He shot 15 shots, the second most on the team, but he had easily the most efficient night of anybody that scored. Cade was the only other guy that scored 20, right? But Cade took 21 shots. This man, Malik Beasley, went out there and hit 6 of his 11 threes. All of his misses were threes. He did not miss a 2-point shot. He went 4 for 4 from twos from the field, bro. He was absolutely out there hooping, and I can't even put that into like enough terms for you, bro. This man played the 6th most amount of minutes. So essentially, he was the 6th man last night and put up the most points and had an extremely efficient night doing so. Hit the most threes on the team. Nobody else hit more than 2, and only 2 guys did that, and Tobias Harris and Marcus Sasser. Well, that man went out there and hit 6. And they beat a team that is my still finals favorite, that is still my championship favorite in the Boston Celtics. During this win streak, bro, I want us to look at the teams they've beaten during this win streak. In their last 2 games, they beat the Clippers, they beat the Celtics. The Celtics win came by 20. Their next game is tomorrow against the Nuggets. We'll see how that goes. They beat the Spurs. Doesn't really mean that much. The Spurs are a little injured right now. I don't believe Victor Wembanyama played in that game, so it's not too big of a deal. But they beat the Hawks 148-143. They put up 148 points in regulation, brother. In regulation? Absolutely insane. They beat the Bulls twice. One of those times they beat the Bulls by 40 points in the game that the Bulls scored 29 points and a half. 29 points and a half is what the Bulls scored in one of those games. They beat the Hornets and they beat the Sixers. Now, all of that isn't me saying it's the most impressive win streak ever, but they didn't go out there and play the Jazz, the Wizards, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't play all of the worst teams in the league. And then when you see them finally getting some competition against a really good team in the Celtics, and don't get me wrong, the Clippers are a good team too. They are a playoff team, but they played against one of the top 3 teams in the league in the Boston Celtics. Them boys went out there and beat them boys by 20 points. And don't come at me talking about, oh, well, the Celtics were all hurt, blah, blah, blah. No, they weren't. They missed Jaylen Brown. Other than that, they weren't missing anyone. They literally only missed Jaylen Brown. Hey, man, I don't think Jaylen Brown changes this from a 20-point loss to a win. He might. Don't get me wrong. Jaylen Brown's a phenomenal player, so he might. But I don't think so, dog. Like, the Pistons are just doing phenomenal stuff right now, and we have to talk about it. But the problem, not the problem, but the one thing I do want to say is for the people who are saying Cade Cunningham most improved, or you know what I'm saying, the odds makers who have Cade Cunningham as the favorite, I believe he's still the favorite for most improved player. I hate that so much. I'm a huge Cade Cunningham fan. Please do not get me wrong. What he's doing right now is all NBA worthy. But most improved player going to a guy that was a first overall pick just a few years ago, whose point average went up from 21 or 22 to 24, 25, I think, is not better than Norman Powell, a 31, 32-year-old guy going up by 12 points per game after their team loses Paul George, and still keeping that team as a playoff team out west. Please do not get me wrong. J.B. Bickerstaff might be coach of the year. In my opinion, J.B. Bickerstaff is probably 2nd or 3rd for coach of the year. If you want to say Kenny Atkinson with Cleveland, if you want to say J.J. Redick with L.A., are the only 2 guys that I would even say are in a conversation to be above J.B. Bickerstaff right now. Because what he's doing has been phenomenal. What they have been doing as a team has been phenomenal. But most improved player isn't supposed to be that. It's not. It's supposed to be for guys like Norman Powell who are 30 years old and they jump up from like 12 or 13 points to what is he? I think he's at like 24 now or whatever. He jumps up 12 points per game ish. I think it's 12, 13, 11. It's something around there. He jumped up 12-ish points per game. That is a guy that should win Most Improved Player. Hell, Dyson Daniels is a guy that might win Defensive Player of the Year. He is definitely going to be all defensive first team. He could get it. He deserves it too. Cade Cunningham has been doing amazing things this year, and I absolutely love what him and the Pistons are doing. I'm just not with that whole, they should be, or he should be the most improved player thing. I'm not with all of that. But please don't get me wrong. What the Pistons are doing right now is astronomical. If you are a Detroit basketball fan, you see your team start out 0-4 in the season. You start out 1-5 if you included the 6 games. But then over the second half of the season, bro, let's just say since right around Christmas time, they had the 1-3 game losing streak in January. They had some rough stretches in January where they like lose back-to-back and then they win back-to-back and then they lose 3, then they win back-to-back and lose back-to-back. Since then, 8-game win streak. In this month of February, they have been dominant. And to close out the month of February, they play Denver. I don't know how that game's going to go, but with the way the Pistons have been playing right now, you can't sit here and tell me that they can't beat Denver. For the remaining schedule, they play teams like Brooklyn, Utah, Washington twice, New Orleans, Portland, New Orleans again, San Antonio. They play Toronto. They play Sacramento, who's nothing special, and then they end their season out with New York and then Milwaukee twice. They play some tough teams in there. Don't get me wrong. Milwaukee twice, New York once, OKC, Cleveland, Minnesota. They play Golden State, the Clippers again. They play some tough teams in there. And I think they play OKC. No, they don't play them once. I was thinking they play them twice, but they only play them once. They play some tough teams in there. They play Dallas in there. We never know if Dallas is going to be healthy. If AD is there, that'll be a tough game. So the Pistons have a tough schedule remaining. But the Pistons right now will probably end up staying as a playoff team. Not a play-in team, but as a top 6 seed. And right now, if they win against the New York Knicks, you can't tell me they don't have a chance. I promise you, I would pick New York. I promise I would. But you can't tell me that Detroit can't take a game or two. You can't tell me that this is a Detroit team that just went from losing 26, 28, whatever it was, games last year in a row to they're going to get swept this year just because of that. No, they won't. I don't think I genuinely do not believe that there is a team they could play in the Eastern Conference playoffs in the first round that would sweep them. With the way that they're playing right now. Now, could there be a regression, all that stuff? Sure. But if they play Boston or Cleveland or New York in the first round, they have a shot. If they go out there and they make it to the 5 seed and they play Indiana, they have a good shot. They could very well make it to the second round. So, bro, I'm just a big fan of what the Pistons are doing, bro. If you have not been watching Pistons basketball, you need to tune in. Malik Beasley is having his best year of his career. Cade Cunningham is hooping. You got guys like Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart who are doing their part, even though I do kind of want them to get like a little more like size, like height, like length type of size. But man, them boys are absolutely hooping. You cannot hate on what they're doing right now, and you should be tuned in 100%. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think about this. Soon, there will be some rebuilds coming. I am super busy this weekend, like literally today, tomorrow, Saturday. I don't have time for anything other than work and school, like literally nothing. I'm going to get some videos recorded, don't get me wrong. It just won't be, I don't have time to record a whole rebuild and then edit it and stuff like that. I don't have the time. I tried to get a 76ers one out and I messed it up, and then I was going to shoot a Suns one, and I got through like one trade, and then I just didn't have any more time to do anything. And I haven't had time to really do it since. So you'll get those rebuilds. Look for those maybe like early next week. Look for some rebuilds early next week. Tell me what kind of rebuilds y'all want to see. Tell me what kind of creative videos y'all want to see. I've been thinking about some more creative 2K stuff that I've seen like TikTokers do or seen that other YouTubers doing stuff like that. So I'm going to do some of those things as well once I like figure out the logistics of how to do all that stuff. But let me know what content y'all want to see. I saw that GeoGuessr did pretty well. We got 5 views on that. And for y'all that are laughing like, you only got 5 views, I don't care. I'm trying to grow the channel. We've gotten 0 views on plenty of videos. So I'm taking that 5 views as a win. I'm going to take that as a way that y'all don't always want to see yap sessions. Y'all want to see some more creative content. Y'all want to see me get into that bag where I'm showing y'all not only like just different sides of me, not just my ball knowledge side, but like sides of me where it's like we're doing more fun stuff, more entertaining stuff. So yeah, man, let me know what y'all want to see. Like I said, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. It helps the channel out a ton and everything like that. But yeah, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And thank you for being locked in with me. Tell a friend to tune in, bro. Appreciate you. Love you.